Do you know what is the most powerful weapon against Russian President Vladimir Putin is? Guns, money, protests, political opposition, elections? Nah. The most powerful weapon against Putin is whisper. High-ranked siloviki whispering in dark corners of their offices with views of the Kremlin. Generals whispering in saunas, meeting their friends, other generals. Oligarchs whispering over playing billiard in their mansions. Whispering when no one can hear the whisperers. Whisper is the most powerful weapon against Vladimir Putin. Because one day they will stop whispering and show up at Putin's door. And that'll be the day when everything in Russia will change. Guess what? The whispers have started. The potion is being brewed not too far from the Kremlin. Howdy, howdy, friends. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, you will not find any BS, propaganda, or lies here. Instead, you'll find plenty of truth, common sense, and logic. Some emotions, because I am living the tragedy of my country. Now, friends, is Russian President Vladimir Putin invincible? I mean, he's built the vertical of power, the system that governs Russia at his command. He's got all the Russians by their, well, parts of the autonomy. He is rewriting the constitution. He has rewritten already and has unlimited attempts to rewrite it again. He has changed the legislation of Russia to fit the power needs. He has amassed incredible riches. He started Russia's worst war. Soon it'll become the longest war in Russia's history. And he got away with it. He's healthy and has sharp mind at 73 years old. He's filthy rich, probably the richest man in the world in the history of mankind. He's famous all over the world. Well, at least he's known all over the world. And he's sincerely loved by tens of millions of Russians. On top of that, he plans to live until 150, saying that breakthroughs in modern medicine, or I take it Russian medicine, allow him to do so. Can you imagine 75 years more of Putin? Well, at the moment, Vladimir Putin seems untouchable and invincible. Well, I dare to say that will change soon. Vladimir Putin signed his own sentence, and I remind you how that happened right here.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
That's Putin announcing the invasion of Ukraine.
Защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима. И для этого мы будем стремиться к демилитаризации и денацификации Украины.
I don't want anyone to ever forget what Putin said. When first missiles flew to Ukraine, he took responsibility for making that decision, saying he was liberating Ukrainians from whoever. So Putin invaded the peaceful neighbor, started the war with Ukraine, and at that very moment, he increased the political stakes to the highest level possible. He got the highest form of absolute power in Russia. Power to declare war and send millions of Russians, of citizens, to die for him. And at the same time, he made the highest bet. He bet his life. He either takes the absolute power or he gives his life. That's how it works. That's the way that has usually always worked. In Russia or in any other country in humankind history, I dare you to name one dictator with absolute power who didn't pay the ultimate price, his life. Absolute most died unnatural deaths. Examples from history, well, there are a few for you. Vladimir Lenin, Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, Nicolaus Ceausescu, Saddam Hussein, Thomas Sankara, Haifizullah Amin, Rafael Trujillo. Just a few, not many, but a few cheated. They died prematurely of natural causes. But the ultimate price was claimed, was paid. It was claimed, only it was paid by their families, wives and children. Examples? How about Alexander Makedonsky? How long his wife and two sons lived after both descendants, how long they lived after he died? Not long, okay? And there are thousands of examples in human history. So Vladimir Putin, by climbing into the cohort of the dictators with absolute power, signed his death sentence, his own death sentence. Currently, Vladimir Putin is the absolute ruler of Russia. He is the sole decision maker of decisions vital for Russia, such as invading other countries, making peace, and so forth. His decision, his power, is guarded by his bodyguards. Well, in Russia, they're called siloviki, the government agencies that are armed and have legal rights to use violence against Russian citizens. This system is called the vertical of power, vertikal vlasti, and Vladimir Putin is the creator of the system and its beneficiary, the main beneficiary. Before, in pre-war years, the power was used very moderately. It wasn't needed that much because Putin had a magic wand. Russia's riches, the money, the country is has most natural resources in the world. Steady exports of oil and natural gas to Europe and other countries alone brought Russia trillions of dollars over the years. And that was enough to pay for everything and everyone. Putin always used money to solve the problems. He flooded everything and everyone with money. And those selected few who didn't take the money, who didn't sell their souls, who were honest, or had principles of some kind, they were taken care of. Just a few names for you. Galina Starovoytova, Lev Rokhlin, Boris Nemtsov, Alexei Navalny. Well, now, I'm simplifying a bit this system, of course, but I think you get the idea. When Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine, started the war with Ukraine, he changed everything for himself in the first place. He started spending so much more. Waging the war costs a lot of money. And he lost his income streams due to the sanctions. Not all of them, but enough to use up all the reserves that Russia had. Took him 3.5 years. And now Vladimir Putin is at the position where he doesn't have the money to pay his way out of troubles. Now, Vladimir Putin desires to hang on to his power. Obviously, that is the sole purpose of his existence now. Okay, he lives for that. And he will do anything to continue hanging on to power. Hanging on to absolute power is no rocket science, One does it through carrots and sticks. And again, I'm simplifying a bit, but I think you also get the idea. No, the system of carrots and sticks, usually it's a combination of carrots and sticks. And that's exactly what Vladimir Putin was doing, combining the carrots and sticks, rewarding with money, carrots, and punishing with violence, that sticks. Here's the dilemma. Putin doesn't have the carrots any longer. Only sticks left. And he has started using the sticks, violence, extensively. First, it started as violence against the citizens. We all remember so many Russians protesting the war were thrown to prison, arrested, charged, sentenced. Those loud ones who opposed the war and took actions, loud and brave ones. There has been plenty of violence against them applied, and thousands of them have been arrested, charged, sentenced. Then, slow at first, Putin started terrorizing his own, the members of the vertical of power. Remember those dozens of loyal regime supporters who flew out of the windows or died mysterious deaths in 2022 and 2023 and 2024? Dozens and dozens of people in high places. First, it was those who were in charge of money, Russian government-owned corporations such as Gazprom, then oil companies, and so forth. They died of heart attacks, they died of heart failure, they died of flying out of the window. One guy flew out of this house's cellar window, fell down from the cellar window and, died, things happen. And then the siloviki started getting arrested and thrown to prison. General Alexei Popov, General Timur Ivanov, other generals, and then generals started dying. One general was blown up when he was exiting his apartment building. The ultimate sign for everyone in the vertical of power, for those who are the supporters of Putin's regime, the ultimate sign for everyone that no one is untouchable any longer was the death of the federal minister Starovoyt. One of Putin's favorites, loyal, young, energetic, with big future inside Putin's system, with big prospects. He had met with Putin just 2 days after he mysteriously died, shooting himself. He shot himself, then he shot himself for the second time, just to make sure, and he had 2 Secret Service agents guarding him all the time, at all time. And that comes with the job of federal minister. But they both bodyguards, the Secret Service agents, conveniently stepped away at the time of his death. That was a big sign for everyone. Do you know what the arrests and deaths mean? The rules of the game changed. How they changed? I'll tell you after I thank you. Thank you very much for being part of Inside Russia community. Thank you for giving me your precious time now by watching this. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, for your messages, for your comments, for you praying along with me, and for sending me your love. Thank you for your financial support, for buying me coffees at buymeacoffee.com, Patreon, PayPal. I promise you that despite tremendous pressure, Russian government is after me, Russian secret police is after me, Google somehow is after me, it demonetized me. Despite all that, I continue my stand. Every single day, I show up with a new message. I want to spread the truth about transformation that Russia is going through. So thank you for your support from the bottom of my heart. Now, I want to talk more about the rules of the game and how they changed. Before the war, the rules of Putin's game looked like this. One gets accepted into the vertical of power, this system that consists of Russian government, Russian power agencies, the KGB, the federal police, the army, and so forth. Everything Russian state is. One gets accepted to that system, to that vertical of power, into one of the branches to serve the higher-ups and ultimately to keep the Kremlin status quo. Vladimir Putin on the very top, his friends and family around him safe. Orders should be taken and obeyed without questions. In return, a certain degree of immunity from prosecution was given, and one was allowed to use his given powers to enrich himself. What powers? Well, a state prosecutor has a power to open a criminal investigation and close criminal investigation. He could use that power to open on behalf of people and close on behalf of people. A judge has a power to make verdicts, to rule, to make decisions. He can use that power, or she can use that power in different ways. Those in the army had a lot of money thrown into the army, and they were responsible for spending, for replacing the reserves, for building. And if they took a little bit of that money and put it in their pocket, that'd be okay. Everyone would close their eyes or look the other way. So that kind of thing. Even the police, or the patrolmen on the road, they would stop, and they had a power to fine a driver or let the driver go, and they could use it to, different purposes. So I think you know what I mean. Recently, the rules of the game have changed. Well, they've disappeared completely. Right now, the immunity has been taken away from Putin's servants, and it looks like it's become fair game for everyone. The officials are arrested and charged with corruption charges by dozens every single week. For corruption, for goodness sake. That was their reward in the past. It was considered normal to profit from the job, and it was expected for them to, share that profit, just to keep some part of it and to give the rest the higher ups, and it would go to the very top. And now they are punished for that. The latest case, former mayor of one of the cities, small towns in the south of Russia, was caught running away from the police when they tried to arrest him. He literally ran carrying 12 kilos, 25 pounds of gold on him, and over $1.2 million in cash on his body. And when they caught him, he was furious. What have I done wrong? What were you doing? It's my money. So in my news reports that I make every Friday, I call them Russian Crazy News Reports, I have a special sections now, the arrests of the week. By the way, the coming this Friday, please stay tuned. I have already a few arrests, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday left. There will be more. I guarantee you that. But all that, even changing the rules of the game, all that could be forgiven. Putin could be forgiven for that if he had a plan for a successor. But he doesn't. You see, Putin himself was a planned successor for Boris Yeltsin. First, he was appointed as a prime minister, and then there was a huge propaganda campaign to beef up his image. And then Yeltsin simply quit his job as the president of Russia, and Putin, as vice president, was made the acting president. And then he just, he held the elections and he won. That was the plan. Now, Putin doesn't have anyone planned as his successor. Moreover, he has destroyed all those who could become his successor. There are no strong figures around him. And on top of everything, he revealed his plan to rule Russia forever. In China, in early September, talking to Xi Jinping, Chinese president, he said, look, now modern medicine allows us to live until 150, perhaps forever. That was a sign, a clear sign to the Russian elites. I am here for a long time, for 75 more years. Now, wow. By the way, if you're enjoying this message so far, if you made it so far, it means you like it. So please hit the like button and subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet. Helps me a lot to spread this message to more people. Also, after the message is over, please leave a comment sharing what you think about this. And if you have nothing to share, please tell us what part of the world you're from watching this, or leave me something nice, encouraging sentence, constant you're doing a good job, something like that. I'm not monetized by Google, so I do not paid by Google, but I really, that inspires me when I read these messages. I don't respond to all of them, to many, but I go and read most of them. So it's very pleasant to read such words. Thank you. And, of course, a coffee would be nice too. I love English tea or regular black coffee. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. So now, you see, if Vladimir Putin had someone planned to succeed him, he would start working on succession right now. Okay, he would identify a person. They would agree among the very close circle of Putin, his family, his friends. They would agree on a successor, and they would start making him a public figure. They start beefing up his image, just like Yeltsin did with Putin back in 1999. The successor would probably take a high public position, and would be given a certain degree of independence. So people could get used to possible successor, acting independently. And he would start make decisions, and he would start even prosecuting others, perhaps, firing others. And Putin would support him, okay? And then at one point, Putin would quit. He would resign as the president, and successor would step into his place. But everyone will be used by that person being in power, making independent decisions. That's how the succession of power in Russia is done. But Putin is not doing that. Moreover, he sends the sign, I'm going to be here for another 75 years, perhaps forever. So you better get used to me. Now, this is very bad for the elites, for the vertical of power, for the army, for everyone who has spent entire lives to build the careers inside the government. That is a catastrophe. This is a huge threat and a high risk, because Putin will not live forever. He will not rule forever. He will, sooner or later, exit the building, either this world or the Kremlin. Something will happen to him. He's not immortal, and everyone understands that. He's 73 years old, although he's in good health. But, what happens if one day he drops dead, or people revolt? For example, entire Russia loses electricity. I don't know, there will be hunger, things like that. And all of a sudden, people revolt. And like a wave, they go through the Kremlin and clean everyone out of filth. What happens then? It means that the entire vertical of power falls apart overnight, just like it fell apart in the USSR. Guess what happened to the KGB on August 21st of 1991, when Boris Yeltsin proclaimed Soviet Union no more? KGB ceased to exist. For 2 years, there was no such agency, and then it started rebuilding itself. Now, Russians allowed the KGB to rebuild itself to the point where this is now. But it was no more for 2 years. All those ministers, all those army men, all the federal policemen who had made careers in the USSR were rendered to zero. The vertical of power, Soviet vertical of power, fell apart. And now these people, current vertical of power, they understand. The oligarchs understand. Whoever comes after Putin, they don't know. There's a huge degree of uncertainty. Whoever comes, they might go after oligarchs. Whoever comes might go after the siloviki. Well, they definitely will go after siloviki. They will definitely go after the army, after the generals. They will definitely ask everyone and why you were supporting Putin and his actions. Now answer. And they will be investigated. And some of them gonna pay with their freedom, and some of them they're gonna pay with their lives. All of them will pay with their riches, with their money. And guess what? They cannot run to the West. They're non grata there, and they're not gonna be taken. So they know that. They know that if Putin does not succeed his power according to a plan, that the risks of them losing everything, and of Putin, of course, losing everything, they're growing higher and higher. So uncertainty that and chaos that would follow after Putin's death or after Putin somehow departing his office in the Kremlin. And guess what happens now? Whispers. They started whispering. Remember, I told you the most powerful weapon against Putin is whispering of those in power, conspiring, telling each other things that are not for others' ears, making deals behind Putin's back. And those are everyone in the vertical of power. And once this first rumors start breaking, and they will, and they're already breaking, then everyone else will be thinking, hey, I don't want to be the last to this train. I might not make it to the train, so I'd better start talking to people. And this brewing, will start. And it's already started, friends. This is why I'm making this live stream. Thank you very much for watching me for half an hour, for listening to what I have to say. And this is the cherry on top of the cake, icing on top of the cake. So, 2 independent sources from the West are reporting that there is whispering happening. It has started. Vladimir Putin knows that the elites, and I'm talking about the oligarchs, those with money to fund everything in the world, fellas with tens of billions of dollars in Russia and still in other countries, in Dubai, in Uzbekistan, in the Caribbean, in Cyprus, they can fund any operation. Those in the army, those generals whose friends have been arrested and sentenced and are rotting in prison, they're not happy. They know they are next. They know there's fair game for them. They know that their future, no one knows what's going to happen, what will happen to them tomorrow. They're not happy about that, and they hold real power. Tanks, planes, and troops with guns. Currently, all those guns are aimed westward. But you know what? It's just a matter of one order. And the siloviki are not happy because they're getting arrested by packs. No one knows who's next, but they know that they will be next. Just like I said, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and on Friday, there will be a few more arrests. And I will report of them in Friday Crazy News Update. So they're not happy. They're not happy. They're afraid. And they know that all that stability that Putin promised them a long time ago is gone. All that good future is gone. Wow. Vladimir Putin knows that they're not happy. Vladimir Putin, guess where he is right now? In hiding. He has cut the contacts with people to the bare minimum. He's hiding in one of his secret bunkers. Yeah, I don't know, with family, but no one knows that. But it is the fact. Vladimir Putin has decreased not public, but the activity of communicating with his servants. You know, the siloviki, the oligarchs, the army. And what I really look forward to seeing is next action that Vladimir Putin takes. Because if I am right, then we will see a wave of terror against oligarchs, siloviki, and the army. Unlike the arrests and oppressions that we have seen in recent months, it's going to be an escalation of the terror. And I certainly will keep my eyes open about that. This gives me confidence, even more confidence, that what we're seeing right now is the final chapter of Vladimir Putin. Again, I don't know how long this chapter will last, perhaps months, perhaps a couple years, but it's the final chapter. A lot of people ask me, what do you see for the future of Russia? This is what I'm seeing right now. I couldn't answer back then, but I can answer this question now. I clearly see the path. It all has led to this moment. Vladimir Putin has stepped on the path of staying until the end, with his power until death parts him, until death makes us apart, right? Until death. Well, anyway, you get the idea. Until the very end. And the very end will be he going to be departing the Kremlin one way or another. This going to be, and this is really a perfect storm for Vladimir Putin, because for once, Russian economy is falling apart. He could get some kind of support from the economy by taking money and trying to quiet everyone down by giving them money, by solving the problem with money. But he can't do that, okay? Internationally, his plan of dealing with Donald Trump seems like it's falling apart. Donald Trump is very angry with him. He's placed more, for the first time in 9 months since January, he's placed sanctions. He's taken real steps, and Putin is feeling. And Putin has sent his envoy immediately to talk to Donald Trump to appease him, you know, and it seems like it's not working. So internationally, Putin, after a wave of successes, starts losing. And then the only way to protect him, to hang on to his power, is to use violence. And then he finds himself in a very, very uncomfortable, unfavorable position right now. Now, I am waiting for what I call black swan events. One of such events could be massive blackouts in Russia, electricity blackouts. Right now, there are over 20 cities in Russia without electricity, well, with rolling blackouts, I should say, not completely without electricity, but, you know, there's not enough power to power all the cities, so they have rolling blackouts. This is just the beginning of the winter. This is October, okay? And Russia is not known for its soft winters. So it's going to be much more load on the electricity system, on the grid in Russia in the coming months. And a black swan can happen there. Electricity and heat, that's something Russians cannot live without in the months of winter. Now, rising prices and a lot of people not getting enough food could be another black swan. We'll see. So I'm waiting for an event like that that will accelerate things in Russia. So please stay with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now, because every single day I give you these reports that tell exactly what currently happens in Russia. And there are so many news right now. I have come up with what I call Formula 54. Every single day, I select 9 news that I find important and make them available to patrons of Patreon. I also sometimes do, well, a few times a week, I do daily snippets. That's more than a news, less than a live stream. For example, today, right after this live stream is over, I'm going to be recording a daily snippet, my thought on what I'm seeing with the mobilization. It's looming on the horizon, okay? There are new laws being enacted right now that kind of lay the path towards massive mobilization. That's in daily snippet coming for patrons. And of course, for everyone on Patreon, it's 9 news a day that matter. So consider, if you want to keep on top of things Russia, consider becoming patron of Inside Russia, and you'll get a lot of current updates. And I am seeing that I just received a couple coffees from David Harrison. Thank you very much. From Afin. Thank you, friends. I appreciate every coffee. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Everyone, this is over. My message is done. Please don't sign off yet, because I am turning the live stream chat on, and this is my most favorite part of any live stream, because I love talking to you. I love answering questions. If you have a question, please throw at me. Jared, thank you for coffee. Another one. I appreciate it very much. So live stream is on, and if you're here for the first time at a live stream, I want you to know that I'm so excited about today. I keep on sweating. I'm sorry. This is I feel alive. I feel I'm living. I feel like things are moving finally. We're seeing the final chapter. So the live stream chat is on, and thank you very much for coming. This is my most favorite part of any live stream, because I see faces, I see real people, well, names really, but I see faces behind names, so to speak. And I'm not alone. I am surrounded by friends, by thousands of people who are giving me their questions, throwing me the comments. And if you want me to see your comment easier, please put it in all caps and put Inside Russia after that sign. So it's this way, it's highlighted in orange. If you don't do that, there's a chance I might overlook your message. There's so many of them. So, Bert, thank you for 3 coffees from the Netherlands. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. I will have breakfast at Tashkent Breakfast Club. That's a support group I've created for Russian refugees living in exile and Ukrainian refugees who have fled the war. So I try to bring Ukrainians and Russians together at one table. There are over 1,000 of us living in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and I will go to breakfast tomorrow, and I'll buy coffees, and I'll buy myself fried eggs for that. Thank you so very much. So before I jump into the questions, I would like to thank once again the moderation team of Inside Russia. Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potter, and Mamir Fazat. Great friends, the best mods out there. Without you, Inside Russia wouldn't have been what it is. So everyone, please be nice to the mods. They're very fair, great, nice people, but they're tough, and they don't allow any trolling, any insults, and please, no US politics here, because that's not what we discuss. We have about 15 minutes of discussion. Unfortunately, my message was a little longer, and I apologize. I started it a little later today, but I had my reasons, the technical stuff. I am the only person who is behind Inside Russia, except for thumbnails. I design them, but I have a designer who actually draws them. Everything else I do by myself. Sound, lighting, software, soundboard, camera, mic, and it's too much. Something goes wrong every time. So I apologize. I hope that the message was worth the wait. Now, just give me a second. I'll. Couple things. What do you think of today's message? If you have questions on the topic, love to answer them. Number two, if you have something nice to say, please do so. I love reading this. Thank you. Now, Odysseus bought 3 coffees. Thank you very much. Hello, Konstantin. I'm a long time lurker. I hope for the best for you and the people of Russia, free from the Muscovite Empire. Thank you very much, friend. Much appreciated. And if you're just lurking here, if you don't ever speak up, just please leave me a message, leave me a note here or in a live stream, or in the comments after the live stream saying, hey, Konstantin, you know, I've been watching you for a long time. I actually get a lot of those messages. I started asking people to like and comment and say something nice, and then they look at the messages. I get thousands of messages recently, and this is so I love it. Thank you so very much. Now, Harry Potnin, Lorna, Bob S., Amir Fazad, and Mama K. Thank you very much again, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Handles, not names, unfortunately. There's not much I can do. There's another coffee from Robert. Thank you for our coffee. Greetings, keep up the great work. Awesome. Thank you very much. Nice words. I love coffee. I love the words. Steffi from Germany, long time no see. SVR from Switzerland. I'm also waiting for Black Swan event. Hey, makes 2 of us. I'm not the only one. Something will happen. This is the feeling I'm getting. Something will happen this winter. No, Putin might survive this winter. I'm not saying he's going to be done, okay? But I'm saying is that 2026 will be extremely difficult for Putin, and I doubt he would last beyond 2027. So this is my forecast. And by the way, friends, you see this? Now, this is a notebook, a regular cheap notebook. This is another way, well, a new way to keep my forecasts. There are quite a few times that I have said, there have been quite a few times when I said, mark my words down. But guess what? Well, thank you for becoming Patreon. Dave Harrison, thank you. 2.5 pounds member. Thank you very much. You get access to all the news now. But guess what? Every time I say mark my words down, I'm going to be marking them myself. Because I cannot stand when people aren't held responsible for their words. That's not how I was taught, how I was raised. I answer for my words. And if I am wrong, I say, you know what? I'm wrong. So every time, and if I don't do that, please remind me in a live stream chat, okay, or in the comments, because later on I will be coming and checking on myself. Okay, I think I owe it to the audience. I owe it to you. Anyway, what do you think? You like this idea? Now, I'm going to be jumping a lot of messages here, and I'm behind, so I'm going to be jumping to those are in orange. Those are in caps. Delimu, excellent message. Thank you very much. Just Terry, fantastic to see you, brother. Good you haven't missed any streams. Just as Pamela J, thank you. Thank you. Random Lietuvas. Yeah. I take it you're from Lithuania. Do you think Putin will attack Baltics to unite siloviki faction behind a single cause? No, I don't believe he will do that, but because he'll destroy everything. I don't think they will let him. I made a live stream yesterday about this very topic. Will Putin attack the Baltics or not? So go back one day and watch that. October 27. Will Putin attack NATO? That's how it's called. Real Robinho, thank you very much for nice words. Daniel McInnes, whoa, hello Daniel, fantastic to see you. You know, that's just absolutely incredible. That I'm sorry. Hang on a second. Keep hanging on. It's absolutely fantastic to hear from you. The angry metalhead. I am 100% sure that Russia will collapse, and I'm really worried with the Russian people in Russia. What is the scenario that you're accepting in case of Russia collapse? Accepting or expecting? I am not accepting. Well, I'll accept anything that happens. I'm not in Russia. I'm sitting away from Russia. You know, Russians are responsible for their own land, and whatever they do, they do. Now, what do I expect? I expect the collapse, and it can come in different ways. But one thing I'm very sure, Russia will not bounce back from the collapse easily, and Russian people will drop down in their living standard to very low, just like they were living in the USSR, and they will stay there for at least 2 generations. That's what I think. No bright future for Russian people. And for how they govern the country, that I don't know. There are different scenarios. Perhaps, pardon me, perhaps I'll be talking about them in the future. Thank you. Amir Fazad is here. Famir, good to see you, brother. All the way from Texas. Everything is bigger and better in Texas. Hands down, you know. Sam the Legend K, howdy friend. Fantastic to see you. Barry, thank you for coffee. Barry Sexton bought a coffee. Thank you. Jules Rames, Scott Nesbitt, 2 pillars of the pillars inside Russia in the house. Ronnie, thank you. Sounds like them dominoes gonna tip. They will. They will. They will. There are so many that are already tipping. That's gonna be a very eventful winter. Let me tell you something. I feel alive. I feel alive monitoring. I feel alive getting the dots together, you know, connecting the dots. This is, can you feel my energy that's pumping out of me? Bob S, thank you very much. The angry metalhead. Okay, I already answered that question. Kevin from Omaha, Nebraska. Do you think real democracy will come to Russia after Putin falls out of the window, or will the vertical of power simply readjust? Now, they will be trying to readjust like crazy, okay? They will be trying to continue living, continue existing. Will they succeed or not? I don't know. A lot of signs tell me that Russians will not change much. Now, there are 2 things I am looking for in Russian people. They need to take responsibility for what they've done to Ukraine, for what they've done to other countries, what they've done to themselves. Now, don't forget, Russians have never taken responsibility for the Eastern European countries. Okay? And that was a big mistake in the 90s. Mistake on the my side, on my people's side, that we did not take responsibility, and the mistake on the European countries who didn't call Russia forced to take responsibility. Now, what I'm looking for is taking responsibility, repenting. After that, anything is possible. Before that, nothing good is possible, okay? And the vertical of power, there are so many scenarios for it, so it's really hard to say right now. Pinda the Peanut, hello. Daniel McInnes, my capeless hero, thank you. The best questions, the most stimulating questions always came from Daniel McInnes. Used to be complete regular at Inside Russia live stream chats. Now we don't see you that often, but every time it's precious. Thank you very much for coming. Tyler Douglas, thank you very much. Peter from Tacoma, where there be tribunals for war crimes. Taking responsibility means prosecuting those who is responsible. You can't take responsibility saying, okay, we're responsible, let's move forward. No, it doesn't work that way. Taking responsibility, saying, you know what, we have done this terrible thing, and we need to pay the price. because there are consequences, okay? If that doesn't happen, no future for Russia. If that does happen, if those who committed war crimes are investigated, prosecuted, if those who committed crimes against Russian people, many siloviki did, many judges, many KGB officers, many, you name it, they need to be investigated. They need to be, thoroughly punished according to the law. And there will be the illustration will absolutely be needed. Okay, that's what I mean by the responsibility. Thank you, Peter. Watch Kiev of mine, friends. I'm not sure what you mean. Jonathan, are you seeing regions rebelling, starting the fall of Putin, or maybe splitting away from the Federation after Putin regime falls? Which regions do you watch closely now? Well, I'm watching Buryatia, Bashkortostan, and the latest, and I love it. There was the first official stand up against Putin by one of the local representatives in Sakha, in Yakutia. That's far east north of Russia. Incredible. So, friends, watch either a separate live stream coming up soon, or I'm going to feature that extensively in the Friday news that is coming up. There is actually a member of United Russia Party, political party. He simply stood up and said, you know what? Perhaps we should unite, all the indigenous people of Russia and go and ask Moscow, and what the hell are you doing? Taking our land from us, taking our language from us, taking everything, installing your rule. That's not how it works. It's our land, We're happy to live as an independent country inside the federation. And then, so this is amazing. Okay, so thank you. Very good question. I'm watching that. Of course, Chechnya and Tatarstan, 2 more regions to watch. And thank you for PayPal from, holy moly, Uliyun. Thank you, friend. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. And, it's fantastic to see you. Just in general, it's overwhelming to get the support. And, we keep on praying for you every single time, every day. So thank you. Joe Drames, Dmitry Patrushev will be the successor by the end of next January. Not likely. He's definitely one of the few people to watch, but I think he has the lowest chances as the successor. And by the way, Jodes, there will be a live stream. I'm going to be talking about the successors. Who can possibly succeed Vladimir Putin? Yeah, it's quite a topic. David Gilmore's daughter-in-law is Ukrainian, and he supported Kiev of mine. I'll check it out. Bridget, thank you. Thomas, guten Abend. Joan, what would happen to Putin's children, especially the boys? Christo, Navalny investigate, man. No locations in the Global Assassins. There was one of the most passionate streams. Thank you so much. First of all, there is no official information about the boys. Now, he has officially 2 girls with his former wife, Ludmila, but they were divorced, I believe, in 2007. There are, of course, rumors. We know what's going on. We know I actually saw Alina Kabayeva personally when she was pregnant. In one of the, she was the senator, and there was I used to go to a large bookstore on Tverskaya Street. If you ever been to Moscow, it's a huge bookstore, fantastic place. I love books, and I was there, and tons of secret agents. And that was the time, I think 2008 or 9, when they was still like, okay, they didn't use force against you, but they were everywhere. And I didn't understand. I asked one of the cops, he smiled at me. And then I saw, I'm turning around, this Alina Kabayeva giving an interview. And I looked at the cop and I said, okay, now I understand. And he started smiling. So, and she was pregnant at the time, okay? But there's, of course, they're just rumors. And the thing is, If Vladimir Putin succeeds his power, there is a chance for him to live, to enjoy the rest of the years, and there's a chance for his family to live as well. Okay? Boris Yeltsin is a good example. Boris Yeltsin's family hasn't been touched, it's been protected, and they kept all the money. So, but if Putin doesn't execute this succession plan, then it's bada bing, bada boom for his family, And that's what I said in the stream. Look, if it's not for Putin, that's his family. That's how power works. There are certain rules of power. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for this fantastic support. You keep on posting. Unfortunately, we don't have this little robot helping us. Last couple questions and we'll wrap it up. Konstantin from Finland, Mikael Lindros. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Why are the Russians about the myth of a strong man? Do people complain about Putin? Now, Ednan, I made a live stream about that. Strongman, something strongman. I made 1,300 live streams so far, and 1 or 2 of them were about culture of strongman. Go and check it out. It should be there in search. Go Konstantin Inside Russia Strongman live stream. Do people complain of Putin? Yes, they do. Of course they do. They complain of what is happening to them. Not all just adore Putin. That number is shrinking, but still a lot. Tens of millions. Some people, they get more and more disappointed. Any chance for a woman to succeed? I doubt it. Leitmotiv, name a woman. I mean, I don't know anyone who would survive in that position right now. Super Slice. Most videos cannot be commented on while I watch. Well, that's why because I turn on the live stream chat until I'm done with the message. You just left a message now. That's the whole idea, because I don't want to see the messages and that they interrupt me. Stefan Dooling, do you see any cut lines of the future fractions already? Oh yes. The streams are coming up. The former prosecutor general, he is now in charge of the Supreme Court as a part of Sechin clan. Sechin has just gained the control over the Supreme Court. Now Medvedev, who is the sworn enemy of Sechin, has made his man the prosecutor general. So this the office of prosecutor general and the prosecution, state prosecution, and Supreme Court are against each other right now. That's interesting. That's the whole another story. Oh boy, Peanut. Did you see that 18-year-old protest singer in St. Petersburg? I made heard the headliner of the last week's Friday news. Of course I did, and they're gonna release her and arrest her for the second time immediately on another charge of discreditation of something. I am afraid they're preparing to jail her. So, is there any news about Kadyrov? For example, health of clash with Russian politicians. There was a clash, a big one, not too long ago, just 3 weeks ago. Other than that, he hasn't been seen much. I doubt he's feeling well. They're not even showing him anymore. So, but I'm definitely keeping my eyes open. Friends, thank you so much. Mods, thank you for coming, watching my back again. Thank you for making this live stream chat a pleasant place. Thank you everyone for staying nice, pleasant, loving, civil, and I invite everyone to finish this live stream in prayer. Thank you. If you're religious, please join me. If you're not, also please join me. You can call it not a prayer, but anything you like. Wishing good to the humanity, to people, sending them good vibes. To me, it doesn't matter. So let's pray. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you very much for giving us this day. Thank you for the food you've placed on our tables and for the roofs you've given over our heads. Thank you for all love in our lives. Thank you for our families, and please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children by example so they, when they grow up, will not fight in any wars. Just make this world a better place. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, I am asking you to please stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country has suffered so much and people need peace as soon as possible. Please reach out and touch the hearts of those animals who are responsible so they wake up from their lethargic sleep and realize that they're still human beings and still have some love in their hearts. So they make the decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this terrible tragedy, answer their prayers, make their wishes come true. And dear Lord, I am asking you to help my country, Russia. Please assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords and knives, and have Saint Michael in shining armor leading that heavenly army of yours down to this earth to get rid of the demons who have hijacked Russia, who we know by their names and by their faces. Please send your angels to help good Russian people who still remain in Russia to run the country in a way that it becomes peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling, send them safe travels. Help everyone who is in danger of any kind, send safety. Help everyone who is seeking for asylum, running away from evil, send help their way. Please help those single mothers and fathers who are struggling, trying to make ends meet, raising their children. Send all necessary help to them, please. And help those who are helping Ukrainians, and help those Ukrainians who are currently under attacks from Russian weapons. Please send them safety. Dear Lord, I'm asking for all of those who are struggling, suffering, crying, and in need of your help and your love. The sick, the addicted, the hungry, the cold, the homeless, the jobless, the betrayed, the ones who go through divorce, the ones who can't see their children as much as they want to, the ones who have lost their way, the ones who are losing their faith, the ones who feel abandoned and alone in this world, the ones whose hearts are bleeding, the ones who are crying. Please reach out and touch everyone's heart and fill them with love. Show them that you are right next to them, that you still love them, you still care, that you will never leave them, that you watch every step they take and every move they make. Please help everyone who is in need. Dear Lord, thank you very much for all of us coming together to pray here. Thank you for allowing us to pray. Thank you for everyone who is praying along with me, 36,500 people, or simply watching us pray. Answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Dear Lord, I have a few people who need your help. They are Larry Barth, our Canadian friend who's not feeling well. Please send recovery and give strength to the family who has been taking very good care of Larry. Send them love and have Larry recover and go back to stay with the family. Please help Pamela J. with recovering after the surgery. TMBC, Helen. Tony, Rod, Victor Garishin, Uli Yun, Lee and Brenda. Nelson Bandela, Ray, Rachel, Gail, and Anita. Janice, Rose, Bronicky. Jeff, Teresa, Ron Bazoid. Please help those people who have received transplants donated by Joe's nephew and his family, Anne, Hannah, Jeffrey S. and his family, Katharina Holm, Mark, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Gabing with Gary, Lisa, Harry, Terry, John, Linda, Paula, Dennis, Jason, Susie, Tim, Dory, Rhonda, John, Taylor, Wayne, Darla, George, Ruberty, Pamela J., Meta Spencer, David Porter, and everyone in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Life, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner, his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Liz, Ron, Liz, Koshkin Dom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra, Joseph, Millie, Greg, Philip, Eileen, Highwayman, Pamela, Victor, Derek Martinez, Jeff Gibson, Denise Abbott, and Brinate. Thank you very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming, giving me this wonderful opportunity, sharing your precious time with me, praying with me. Thank you. You are awesome and you rock. Please come back for Economic Weekly News Review tomorrow. Things that are happening in the Russian economy, they get worse and worse every single week. I have quite an update for you tomorrow, so please tune in. Don't miss it. You're going to like it. And, of course, Freddy Crazy News. Already at this point, I have so many news that going to make it a report. So tomorrow, Thursday as well. So please keep on tuning in. You're awesome and you rock. Thank you for everything, for your support, for watching, for listening. And I will see you soon. Before I sign off, as usual, I'm asking you to say it out loud along with me. The following. Carthago delenda est.